I am a huge fan of Star Wars. I love the films, apart from those ones. I love the shows, but most of all, I love the games. Growing up, the main Star Wars games I played were Lego Star Wars, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Empire at War, and of course, Star Wars Battlefront 2. But there was one game that I honestly had never heard of before that a few people have said is a pretty fun game, Star Wars The Clone Wars. And with this game just releasing as part of the June PlayStation Plus Classics bundle with trophy support, I thought now would be a perfect time to jump in and collect all the trophies.
Let's do this!
The game starts like any piece of Star Wars fiction should, with an iconic opening crawl. We're then put into the shoes of Mace Windu as he is set out to Geonosis just before the famous Battle of Geonosis takes place in the second film to eliminate the Geonosian and Separatist defences. Now when loading into the game, I expected to be controlling Mace Windu on foot, and not a Republican tank. Turns out this game is very heavily based around vehicle combat, and only has very minor sections for normal ground-based combat. Anyways, second into our first mission, we unlock our first trophy for eliminating our first enemy. We continue on with the mission, destroying the orbital cannons we've been tasked with doing, get a trophy for completing our first bonus mission, and also a trophy for completing the mission. Now when it comes to the bonus mission I just mentioned, there are a total of 3 trophies tied to it. One for completing your first bonus mission, one for completing 15, and the last for completing 30. Every mission has 3 bonus objectives and they're all pretty straightforward. Just as an example, in one of the later missions you're defending 2 Republic cannons from incoming Separatist forces. One of the bonus objectives is to keep them both alive, and during this playthrough, they didn't even come close to dying. Moving on to the second mission, we're once again playing as Mace Windu. We are tasked with clearing out a landing zone for a Jedi convoy to land. After this happens, we then have to protect the convoy as they make their way to the Geonosis arena that we see in the second film, where Padme, Anakin and Obi-Wan are held captive, thus ending the mission and granting us another trophy. We start the next mission once again as Mace Windu, but this time we're on foot. First off, we're tasked with making our way to one of the gunships so we can help with our assault on Geonosis. So this is where the difficulty somehow ramped up a bit. After a few attempts, and I'll admit a difficulty changed to the lowest difficulty. We got through this section, and while doing so, we unlocked a trophy for defeating 100 enemies as Mace Windu on foot. Once in the gunship, we are then tasked with flying through this canyon and then destroying all the Techno-Union ships. After doing this, we then land and take control of the tank once again, having to defend these mobile assault cannons. Whilst doing this, we unlock a trophy for collecting every kind of power-up available in the game. And now, I don't know about you guys, but with a trophy like this in the game, I was expecting there to be a couple of power-ups available, but no, there's only 2. These are Super Blasters and Invincibility. I suppose you can count the health and ammo pickups, but I personally wouldn't really see them as power-ups. Before the mission ends, Windu is confronted by 3 Dark Acolytes, and we now have to destroy all 3 of them. This honestly wasn't very difficult, just end up spamming all my rockets until they're all gone, and the trophy popped for us beating the mission. So as you can really tell, up until this point, there really hasn't been any plot present in the game, and if I'm completely honest, I don't really remember there being much of one. I remember there being something about a Force Harvester being used by Count Dooku that sucks the Force life out of anyone, but this was only really present in one mission. We also do learn about a ancient Sith weapon called the Dark Reaper, and this actually turns out to be the final boss fight in the game. But apart from that, I honestly don't really remember there being much of a story. Mission 4 goes as followed. Destroy all enemies present at Republic outpost, drop off the Republican troops, protect the convoy, clear all enemies from the Jedi Sanctuary, defend the transports so they can evacuate, and then that's the mission. During all this, we got a trophy for eliminating 300 enemies with vehicles. As well as the trophy for beating the mission. Mission 5 is probably the shortest mission in the game, playing as the one, the only.
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You've just simply got to destroy these enemy straps before they get back to their base. The next mission introduces the squad command feature. I genuinely didn't know how this worked. You would press attack and sometimes they would acknowledge it, sometimes they won't. but they'd acknowledge all the other commands every time. And after we end up issuing 25 commands, you get a trophy.
Changing targets.
We then have to ambush and destroy 3 convoys for the mission to end. Mission 7 sees us have our first boss fight in the game, and this is against a massive ship called a Protodeka. Probably completely butchered that, but we move. Like everything else in the game, it wasn't really much of a challenge. Granted, that is because I'm playing this game now on Padawan, but you know, we don't talk about that. In Mission 8, we take control of Anakin as he attempts to escape from Count Dooku. While doing so, we beat our 15th bonus objective. And then we successfully escape on a strap. At the start of Mission 9, we earn a trophy for piloting 4 different Republic vehicles. And then later on in the same mission, earn a trophy for piloting 2 different Separatist vehicles.
Let's go. The comm outpost is just over that hill.
After we successfully infiltrate the Separatist command center and escape, the mission ends. At this point, you probably understand how each mission tends to go. Go here, kill these, escort this, do that. Nothing of real value happens in the mission if I'm completely honest. We end up playing through the rest of the game, completing each mission, earning their respective trophies. But whilst we were doing this, we also completed our 30th bonus objective. And we then completed the last 2 missions. This leads us up to the final section of the last mission, where we are taking on the Dark Reaper ship. Honestly, I don't have a clue how the boss fight actually is supposed to go. All I ended up doing was just spamming my rockets again, and after a while we ended up destroying it. I honestly don't know how.
Destroy it, and the battle will be won.
You've grown more powerful.
I only did what I had to. For the Republic.
Be careful, Anakin. If you do not control the power inside you, it will consume you.
I know what I'm doing.
Be mindful of your tone, my Padawan. Do not forget that you are still but a learner.
I will keep that in mind, Master.
With the story done, we only had 2 more trophies remaining. We got the first of the 2 after loading back into the 8th mission of the game, as this is one of only 2 sections where you play as Anakin on foot. And this is so we can get ourselves a trophy for killing 100 enemies as Anakin.
Spreading. We're gonna have to move fast if we want to avoid its effect.
Now for the final trophy to get our platinum, and probably the hardest trophy in the game. So hard that I had to leave it as last. View my secrets. With the platinum done, and in a very short 3 hours and 5 minutes, I can honestly say the game is pretty mid. Fun, but pretty mid. Certainly not the worst game I've played, but not the best. Just mid! If you have enjoyed the video, then please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for some more platinum content. I'll see you all very soon.